Hi, Wolfhounds. It's Steve Garvey, SEL first baseman for the Dodgers and Padres. Yeah, I played about 20 years in the majors and had a passion for the game. And I guess it showed. I was in 10 All-Star games and won a world championship and played on some phenomenal historical teams for the national pastime in this country. But you're doing something a little different. You're leading the charge for Irish baseball, and keep doing a great job. There are many of us over here who are behind you, celebrating you and watching you. And you know what this is all about. You're going to be in that World Baseball Classic and the Olympics in the very near future. God bless.
Hey everybody, it's the mayor here, Sean Casey. I just want to say I'm so excited that the Irish American Baseball Hall of Fame is coming back. And the Hall is also partnering with the Irish Baseball Society, two great organizations that do a ton of work in Ireland and America. I'm a proud member, and you guys can be too. Go to irishbaseball.org and join this great organization to see the great work they're doing in America and Ireland. Thanks, guys.
There you go.
All right. Oh.
And we can turn this down. No. Turn that down.
Ah, there we go.
There
Good
you
call. Good call.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Thrilled you're with us.
Check. Check 1, 2.
Today is August 26th. We're going to do partly sunny. Very thrilled you're all with us today. I'm excited.
Very excited. Happy to be with you,
It's
Mark.
good to see you again.
I know. Missed out last time. It's good to be back.
Love key. Well, apparently you're the good luck charm with the weather because while it rained after the first game here, we got it in unimpeded.
We got it in perfect timing.
Just in the nick of time, if I remember correctly.
Some of those clouds look a little ominous, but I think we'll be all right.
No, these are okay.
The weather,
these
forecast.
are okay. Well, good. Thanks, Colin.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. So turn us down. No, just do the master. Yeah. Thank you.
the Fire Department of the City of New York and the Irish Wolfhounds. Fans, at this time, let's meet both squads. First, the non-starters and coaching staff for the Fire Department of New York. And now the non-starters. Number 1, Tim Panetta. Number 8, Scott Miller. Number 19, Emerson Murillo. And number 99, Chris Torres. And now the starting lineup and batting order for the FDNY. Batting first and playing shortstop, number 4, Brian Lutke. Batting second and playing second base, number 34, Dan Quinn. Batting third and playing first base, number 22, Tommy Resnick. Batting fourth and playing third base, number 9, John Giakis. Batting fifth and playing center field, number 3, Mike O'Hanlon. Batting sixth and catching, number 59, Josh Kistler. Batting seventh and playing right field, number 18, Justin Pena. Batting eighth, the designated hitter, number 13, Joe Ginobili. And batting ninth and playing left field, number 26, Esteban Soler. Today's starting pitcher for the FDNY is number 7, Kevin Watson. And the manager of the FDNY is Josh Burgos. And now, let's welcome the non-starters and coaching staff for the Irish Wolfhounds. First, the coaching staff. Assistant coaches, Rob Delaney, James Lally, Eric Helmrich, Eric Holtz, and J.P. Dolan. And now the non-starters. Number 11, Norman Coleman Goodwin. Number 24, Thomas Mayer. Number 35, Garrett Crowley. And number 57, Mitch Hiller. And now the starting lineup and batting order for the Irish Wolfhounds. Leading off and playing shortstop, number 23, Patrick Dillon. Batting second, the right fielder, number 6, Joe Cosgrove. Batting third and playing third base, number 4, David Gallagher. Batting fourth, the center fielder, number 7, Tommy Dunleavy. Batting fifth, the first baseman, number 5, Brian McAuliffe. Batting sixth, the left fielder, number 36, Sean McAdams. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, number 21, J.P. Dolan. Batting eighth and catching, number 20, Kevin Lucy. And batting ninth, the second baseman, number 7, Kyle Singer. Today's starting pitcher for the Irish Wolfhounds is number 61, Ryan O'Rourke. And manager of the Irish Wolfhounds is Vin Malza. And now, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise and kindly remove all caps in salute to both the Irish and American flags, as today singing both national anthems is joining us is Siobhan Noonan. The national anthems of Ireland and the United States as we welcome you to Clover Stadium for Irish Wolfhounds baseball today. From the FDNY, Mark Renee alongside Sam Davis. Good to have you back in the booth, my friend.
Mark, it's good to be back. I was very upset missing the last game. It's great to be back, and we're exactly where we were for game number 1 here at Clover Stadium. Hopefully for the Irish Wolfhounds, a similar outcome to not only the first game, but also their most recent game. They were dominant on the mound in that one last time out as well.
They have scored 9 runs in each of their first 2 games, beating the NYPD team here 9-1 back in mid-June. Then last month on Staten Island, a 9-0 victory over the Court Officer Blue Sox, who they held to 1 hit and struck out 19. Getting a look here at Kat Ballou, who will join us in the booth a little bit later on. She has got a terrific story to tell, and we will be very excited to share it with you. But Kat throwing out the ceremonial first pitch. She said she had been practicing, got a little catch in earlier today, and let's see how she does. On target, bounced it on the plate. Dave Gallagher making the grab.
Good frame job there. That's a strike, right? Right off the plate there.
In kickball, it would be a strike. So the Wolfhounds getting set. Of course, the showcase team looking at the talent that is available to help the Irish get to the World Baseball Classic, and that, of course, is the overreaching goal of why we're playing these games, to introduce Irish baseball in a way to the masses and hopefully point the Wolfhounds or the Irish national team eventually into an upcoming World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, Mark, the Wolfhounds, they're a showcase team. They're about showing baseball and how powerful it can be in Ireland, its presence, that it's growing in Ireland, which is obviously a big mission of the Irish American Baseball Society, to grow the game in the country of Ireland. But most of all, like you mentioned, Mark, showing that this group, or Ireland as a nation, has what it takes to get to the World Baseball Classic. Our guest coach here today is Eric Holtz, and he said that as well. He said he's been around teams, was with Team Israel in the World Baseball Classic, the Olympics as well. So he's been around teams that have done it, and he says this team has what it takes to do it.
And he has spent some considerable time here at Clover Stadium. In fact, the Israeli team, if you will, Team Israel, for the WBC 2 years ago, played an exhibition game here at Clover Stadium against the Boulders right before they departed for the World Baseball Classic. Holt's a local guy from Westchester, so he has spent some considerable time here at Clover Stadium, working today under manager Vin Malzahn, who is working his second game at the helm. We want to wish Donegal Fergus, the new head baseball coach at Loyola Marymount in Southern California, all the best. He got the gig right before the game against the court officer Blue Sox, so was unable to join us then. Can't join us today either, so we want to wish Donegal Fergus all the very best in his new endeavor, and we hope to see him soon. Let's run down the lineups for you, and you'll notice an interesting change in the pitching situation for the Wolfhounds, as Ryan O'Rourke will be starting this one, the former major leaguer. He actually closed out the first two games for the Wolfhounds and did so pretty well. In fact, you can't be much better. He struck out all three against the Blue Sox last month and retired all three he faced against the NYPD with one strikeout. So he's faced six batters for the Wolfhounds and recorded 4 strikeouts. He will pitch the first inning today, and in fact probably the first two. And then Mitch Hillert, who started the first two games, will come out of the bullpen, and he is scheduled to work the last 2 innings today.
So they're flipping those two guys around, and we talked to Ryan a little bit before the game, Mark, and he said the last time he started a game was all the way back in 2020 in Puerto Rico, correct? That's what he said.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a number of years since Ryan started, but like you mentioned, he's been absolutely dominant so far for the Wolfhounds, and rightfully so. A guy that has had and spent time in the major leagues, pitched for the Twins in 2015, 2016, drafted by the Mets in the 13th round, was dominant in college at Merrimack College. Always a pleasure to see him on the mound. It's nice that we get to see him at the beginning of the game today instead of the end.
Very cool. Probably good for him, too. He doesn't have to wait around all day to finally get in the game. So he will work to a Bravest lineup that features Brian Lupke at shortstop leading off. Dan Quinn will play second base and bat second. Tommy Resnick hitting third, playing first base. The cleanup hitter is the third baseman, John Giakis, and we'll get into his story. It's a pretty good one. He actually had a home run last week against the NYPD in the game they played at Citi Field, and in fact, twice now they have played at Citi Field against the NYPD. And the FDNY, which is coming off a 7-4 victory last Thursday in the second annual Battle of the Badges. Giakis has gone deep in both of those games. And local college player at FDU. Again, we'll get more into his story as we move along. Mike O'Hanlon is the center fielder batting fifth. Josh Kistler will hit sixth and do the catching. The right fielder, Justin Pena, bats seventh. Joe Ginobili is the designated hitter. An OAR fan. I really wanted to talk to him about that before the game today. He's batting eighth, and Esteban Soler in left field will bat ninth against Ryan O'Rourke for Coach Chris Torres, who will be, in all likelihood, coming off the bench in a reserve role. Patrick Dillon plays shortstop, leading off for the Wolfhounds. Then it's the right fielder, Joe Cosgrove. We'll talk about him, too. He's an interesting story. Dave Gallagher at third, hitting third. The cleanup man in center, Tommy Dunleavy. Brian McAuliffe plays first base and bats fifth. Then it's Sean McAdams in left field, hitting sixth. J.P. Dolan, a player coach for the Wolfhounds, will be the DH today, and he'll bat seventh. Kevin Lucy behind the plate for the third game will be the hitting eighth, and Kyle Singer at second base will bat ninth. So Pat Dillon in the leadoff spot for the third game. Brian McAuliffe, who we have seen play both games as well. Kevin Lucy's played both games. Sean McAdams is back. Mitch Hillert, and we talked about Ryan O'Rourke. They were the bookends in the first 2 games on the mound, and they will today in reverse order.
Yeah, and that, like you mentioned, Mark, with these guys, certain guys that have played all 3 games, other guys coming into the fold or aren't available, it just shows the amount of talent that the country of Ireland has and all their players do. That this team, the Wolfhounds, they can kind of mix and match. They can shift guys and have guys playing different positions, or also just shift who plays in each game. You mentioned Pat Dillon right at the top. He's been very good in that leadoff spot in the first 2 games so far. He had a hit, scored a run against the Blue Sox last time. He had 2 hits. He had a stolen base and a run against the NYPD in the first game as well. Look for him to get this game started with a bang here for the Wolfhounds.
And Kyle Singer, one of the 2 newbies on the roster, the other being Tommy Marr, who will come out of the bullpen and is slated to be the second pitcher of the day for the Wolfhounds, who again will be the visiting team in this one, as Kevin Watson is starting on the mound for the Bravest, a right-hander.
FDNY, good-looking uniforms there. I like those home unis.
They are sharp.
With the red hats, fitting for the fire department.
Bravest above the numbers on the backs, and of course 343 on the right sleeve. That number lives in the hearts of all of us for the last going on 22 years now. So Pat Dillon will step up, right-hand hitting shortstop, who, as you mentioned, Sam, 3 for 8 the first 2 games the Wolfhounds have played, with 3 singles and a walk. FDNY defense, Resnick at first, Quinn at second, Lubke at short, Giacchis at third. The outfield left to right is Solero, Hanlon, and Pena, with Kistler behind the plate. Watson working from the stretch, and the first pitch of the day is a breaking ball in for a strike, and we are underway just after 1:30 on this very pleasant late summer afternoon in the lower Hudson Valley outside New York City. Here comes the 0-1 to Dillon. That is swung on, popped up sky high, right around second base, and it'll be Quinn who makes the catch for out number 1.
Mark, that's the good old announcer's jinx right there. I was just talking about how Pat Dillon has done a great job starting off games. Pops up a pitch there, but still has been pretty locked in for the Wolfhounds in the first 2 matchups.
Yeah, he singled and scored, starting things off against the court officers. And also had singled against the NYPD, so you put the jinx on him. Swing and a miss by Joe Cosgrove.
Yeah, that one's on me. That one's on me. I'll take that. I'll take credit for that.
Joe playing right field today. By trade, he's a catcher, but he is a versatile catcher. Came on against the Blue Sox last month in the 5th inning. Wound up going 2 for 2 with an RBI as he fouls that one out of play and falls behind 0-2.
Cosgrove from Winter Park, Florida. Played at Rollins College.
Reminded me, so far as he knows, he is not directly related to Tom Cosgrove, the relief pitcher for the San Diego Padres. But you figure if one Cosgrove qualifies to play for the Irish Wolfhounds, why won't another?
Definitely sound logic right there.
Of course, Tom wrapping up his rookie season with the Padres in the next few weeks. 1-2, a breaking ball. That just missed. And Joe Cosgrove has worked the count even. Just a gentle breeze blowing from left to right here at Clover Stadium. 2-2, fouled off out of play, and we will do it again. Of course, this may be the most aptly named home for an Irish baseball team, Clover Stadium.
And they're returning after playing the first game here, like we mentioned. It was in Staten Island for game number 2. Returning back to Clover Stadium. And, yeah, it's the perfect place for the Wolfhounds to play.
Might even dub it for the Wolfhounds games the Kennel. Here's the 2-2, swung on and fouled back to the screen. Good battle here between Joe Cosgrove and Kevin Watson.
Joe Cosgrove has some experience playing for Ireland. He played on Ireland's gold medal team at the 2018 European qualifiers. good amount of these players throughout the roster have that experience playing for their country.
This is pulled on the ground, foul outside of third, and the battle will continue.
There's really nothing like that experience for a player. I've talked to a decent amount of the members of the Wolfhounds roster, and they have all highlighted how special it is for them to play for Ireland, to wear that Irish flag on the sleeve there. It's very important. It means a lot to these players.
Another 2-2. That is in for a called third strike. So Cosgrove goes down looking. That is out number 2 here in the top of the first.
Long battle for Cosgrove, but Watson gets the best of him there with a good spot on the outside corner.
The third baseman, number 4, David Gallagher.
So here's Dave Gallagher playing third base. And he punches that one foul on the ground outside of third.
Dave Gallagher's got his parents from Achill Island. He also lived in Westport County, Mayo for a year, so some significant Irish roots.
A direct tie. Here's the 0-1. That's in the dirt. Blocked by the catcher, Kistler.
And all these players, they're qualified if Ireland were to make it to the World Baseball Classic to play for the Irish team, whether it be parents or grandparents being from the country.
There's a called strike, and it's 1-2 on Gallagher. Of course, we just learned not too long ago, Packy Naughton on the St. Louis Cardinals is eligible. Grew up in Massachusetts. His grandfather, born in Galway. So Naughton could very well be a contributor to the cause. 1-2, that's punched in the air. Shallow left center field. Looks like it'll be O'Hanlon. And he can't find it. He lost it in the sun in the glare and chugging into second. Now going to third, trying to steal 3, and the throw gets away. Stayed in play. But how about that? It's a gift for Gallagher. And he's on third with 2 outs. O'Hanlon apparently had a bead on it and then just lost it in the glare.
It looked like it was tracking right towards him. Looked like he had it camped underneath, and then all of a sudden that ball just drops. And credit Gallagher for hustling, getting to second. A little risky trying to go to third, especially with 2 outs in the inning.
Well,
already in scoring position, but it worked
I
out.
have to give him a triple on that. So
I mean,
here's
didn't
the
touch anybody, right?
Center fielder Tom Dunleavy. He had an RBI double in the first inning against the court officers team. Chance to drive one in here as it gets away from the catcher.
It's like a hit by pitch.
No, they're going to say it hit him in the foot. So Dunleavy was hit by the pitch. Gallagher will have to go back to third. And that'll leave it up to Brian McAuliffe, who's gone 3 for 7 as a Wolfhound. 2 for 4 against the Blue Sox with a walk, an RBI, and 2 runs scored. He was 1 for 3 in the NYPD game.
Tough for Kevin Watson on the mound. You think you're out of the inning with the fly ball to center, and now all of a sudden you got to work from the stretch and deal with runners in scoring position.
And that's fouled off third base side into the stands. McAuliffe batted second against the NYPD and was in the 5 spot right where he is today against the Blue Sox back on July the 15th.
Got to shout out McAuliffe, attended Fordham Prep High School.
Here's the 0-1. Breaking ball catches the outside corner. It's 0-2.
He was also Division III Baseball All-American at Denison University. Hit .330 career batting average there over 5 seasons. Has a lot of those school records for baseball as well. He dominated over in Denison.
Here comes the 0-2. Pulled. Fair. Inside the line. That'll roll toward the bullpen in the right corner. 1 run in. Heading for third is Dunleavy. He is there, and on its second with an RBI double is McAuliffe, as now Dunleavy heads home. Ball got loose on the infield, and the Wolfhounds jump in front 2-0.
Really good piece of hitting there by McAuliffe, just pulling that one down the line, and then tough to pick that ball up in the corner there. Pena had a tough time at that 312 sign down the right field line. He took a little bit too long to get to it, couldn't come up with it cleanly, and that allowed Dunleavy to come around all the way from first and score. And what was going to be a 1-2-3 inning, the Wolfhounds catch a break on the pop fly and then make the FDNY pay.
There's Sean McAdams, who takes a strike. McAdams had a single, a double, and 2 runs scored against the Blue Sox. He's gone 3 for 7 as a Wolfhound with an RBI. Chance to drive in another one here. The 0-1 breaking ball is swung on and missed. And it's 0-2. So I think technically, not that it matters in the grand scheme, but McAuliffe probably gets 1 RBI and then Dunleavy scores on the error. Just for bookkeeping purposes. Runner at second, the 0-2 pitch, a fastball misses away, and it's now 1-2 on McAdams. J.P. Dolan pressed into service because of a late scratch in the lineup. Waiting on deck. 1-2. On the ground toward first, Resnick scoops it up. He'll take it himself to the bag, and that retires the side. But the Wolfhounds have broken the seal, putting up a crooked number again in the first inning. They score 2 on 2 hits. And as we go to the bottom of the first, it's the Wolfhounds 2, the Bravest coming to bat. Take a look at left-hander Ryan O'Rourke, who gets the start for the Wolfhounds this afternoon. Backed up by a defense from first to third on the infield of Brian McAuliffe, Kyle Singer, Patrick Dillon, and Dave Gallagher. The outfield left to right is Sean McAdams, Tommy Dunleavy, and Joe Cosgrove, with Kevin Lucy behind the plate. Righty hitting shortstop Brian Lupke leads off, and he takes a fastball low from O'Rourke for 1-0. We mentioned Ryan O'Rourke. 2 ninth innings pitched for the Wolfhounds. Has not allowed a base runner, and he struck out 4. As he pours in a strike there, it's 1-1. Next pitch, swing and a miss.
O'Rourke, 56 games in his Major League Baseball career. Also played 9 years in the minor leagues.
Working from the third base side of the rubber. 1-2 pitch. Line drive to second. Snagged out of the air by Singer for out number 1. Nice play.
Lubeck with a good piece of hitting there, going the other way. Just poking that out to second, but tough spot for him to put it, as it's right into the glove of Singer.
And I apologize to Brian. We were
It's a tough one.
digging into his name, and I said, got to make sure we don't call him Lupke. And sure enough, here I am. I write down Lupke.
It's a tough one.
Lubeck Dan Quinn now. That's an easier one. He takes a strike. Quinn playing second base for the Bravest. Wind's picked up a little bit now, blowing across from left to right. We'll tell you why that's important as this is fouled off toward the first base dugout. So O'Rourke ahead 0-2. It's only 312 feet to the short porch here in right field at Clover Stadium. A lefty hitter can reach that no matter what the wind conditions. Right-handers with the wind blowing out only need about a 9-iron instead of a pitching wedge as O'Rourke wastes that one up and away. So it's 312 to the right field line. It's 403 feet to dead center at a 35-foot high green wall. As that one's fouled back to the screen, count remains 1-2. And again, high green wall, very fitting for the Irish Wolfhounds to play in front of. 408 feet to the power alley in left center. 323 feet to the left field line. And that is called strike 3 as Quinn goes down looking for out number 2. So, mirror image to start off the first inning for both sides. A ball to second base and a backwards K. And now here is the lefty hitting first baseman Tommy Resnick for the FDNY squad. And O'Rourke pumps in another strike.
Mark, you talked about the short porch over in right field. We saw a lot of runs from the Wolfhounds in the first game here at Clover Stadium. Didn't see any home runs, though. That's something that we'll see if we get here in this one today.
O'Rourke pulling the string on a changeup. Resnick fooled badly. Ryan ahead 0-2 now with 2 outs. And he gets him on another breaking ball, side retired. So how about Ryan O'Rourke? He's faced 9. He's retired them all. And he's struck out 6. We go to the second inning. Wolfhounds lead the Bravest 2-0.
Hey everybody, it's the mayor here, Sean Casey. I just want to say I'm so excited that the Irish American Baseball Hall of Fame is coming back. And the Hall is also partnering with the Irish Baseball Society, 2 great organizations that do a ton of work in Ireland and America. I'm a proud member, and you guys can be too. Go to irishbaseball.org and join this great organization to see the great work they're doing in America and Ireland. Thanks, guys.
As we go to the second, the Irish Wolfhounds a 2-0 lead. We want to thank you for joining us as you watch the Irish Wolfhounds presented by the Irish American Baseball Society. Celebrate Irish baseball by visiting irishbaseball.org for more information. Of course, our buddy John Fitzgerald at the helm, general manager, bringing us together. Thank you, Fitzy. Hope all is well. Sean Clancy, one of the mainstays of the Irish American Baseball Society, former proprietor of one of the all-time great baseball bars in New York City, Foley's. Want to wish Sean well, living now in Florida. So J.P. Dolan, 7th place hitter, leading off the second inning against Kevin Watson. He takes a ball.
J.P. Dolan, man of many talents, player coach in the lineup today.
Takes down and in. He's ahead here 2-0.
Part of the Irish baseball national team back in 2015.
Watson works out of the stretch, first base side of the rubber. 2-0. That's low and away to the lefty. It'll be Dolan, Kevin Lucy, Kyle Singer here in the second. Taking all the way, and that is in for a strike to Dolan.
And Mark, you don't usually notice bullpen action after an inning like Ryan O'Rourke just had, striking out 2 batters, but the Wolfhounds want to get a lot of their arms into the game.
That's the other way to short. Nice backhand stop by Lubeck, and he throws, but it's wide of Resnick. And that allows Dolan to reach.
Really good play by Lubeck there, deep in the hole, and a long throw over to first. Looked like Resnick just stretched a little too early there. Let that ball get away. That could have been a fantastic play there from the shortstop.
Instead, he winds up with what you'd have to rule an error. Here's Kevin Lucy. 0 for 2 with a walk against the Blue Sox. 0 for 1 hit by a pitch against the NYPD as he fouls that one off. So he's got 0 for 3, still looking for his first Wolfhounds hit, but he has been on base twice.
Did have an RBI last game against those Blue Sox, and he's got family on both sides from County Kerry.
Breaking ball in for a strike from Watson. It's 1-1. Sun has ducked behind the puffy cotton ball clouds overhead, mostly sunny, or partly sunny at least when we started, 83 degrees. 1-1. Up the middle, got right past Watson, out to the shortstop, Lubeck. He'll step on second and throw to first in time, a 6-6-3 double play.
Lubeck doing it all this inning after the really good play we mentioned, but the error at first base, he decides he'll take it himself over there up the middle. The smart play, steps on the bag, and fired a strike over to first to get the double play.
Tell you, that one in on the hands of Lucy, and it basically knuckled past Watson, who put the glove up. I thought he had a chance to flag it down, just couldn't come up with it, but Lubeck there to back him up as Kyle Singer in his first at bat as a Wolfhound fouls it over the roof behind home plate here at Clover Stadium.
Singer's grandmother, born and raised in Dublin. Dublin, the site for the opener of college football today, getting underway. Notre Dame and Navy.
About a half hour from now. We'll keep you updated. You don't have to go anywhere. The 0-1 is too high. To the number 9 batter in the Wolfhounds order as Pat Dillon looms on deck. Your Fordham Rams will be in action tonight as well.
Yes, they will be excited that they're playing at night. That way I can watch that one after this one.
Singer ahead in the count, 2-1. And the pitch from Kevin Watson, a breaking ball pulled in the air. That'll go foul out near the bridge bar here at Clover Stadium.
Singer got a good piece of that one, really turned on it, but was out in front. The righty pulling that down the left field line.
Home run distance. It was about 20 feet foul. I don't know about you, but August 26th, I'm not quite ready for college football.
A little early for you?
Even when we used to have the kickoff classic in the Meadowlands. 2-2, pulled on the ground to third. Up with it is Giakis. The long throw, a strong throw, and he gets Singer by a step to retire the side. 2-0 Wolfhounds as we go to the bottom of the second inning here from suburban New York City.
Hey everybody, it's the mayor here, Sean Casey. I just want to say I'm so excited that the Irish American Baseball Hall of Fame is coming back. And the Hall is also partnering with the Irish Baseball Society, two great organizations that do a ton of work in Ireland and America. I'm a proud member, and you guys can be too. Go to irishbaseball.org and join this great organization to see the great work they're doing in America and Ireland. Thanks, guys.
Ryan O'Rourke tries to keep his perfect record as a Wolfhound intact. He's faced 9 batters, retiring all of them with 6 strikeouts over 3 innings, and he will work to John Giacchis, Mike O'Hanlon, and Josh Kistler. Giacchis coming off a home run at Citi Field 9 days ago against the NYPD. And he slugs this one foul, curling toward the first base dugout. McAuliffe giving chase, but he can't get it as it finds the netting above the first base dugout, 0-1. So Giacchis, pretty good player back in his college days at FDU, and he's only been out for about 6 years. And he was a second-team All-NEC first baseman for the Knights, behind a guy from Bryant named Robbie Rinn, as that's fouled over the screen for 0-2. Bryant was a powerhouse in the NEC. Still is, but back then, that team, something special. James Karinchak, now a major league relief pitcher, was the NEC Pitcher of the Year. As Giacchis takes at his feet. Ball and 2 strikes. Tommy Maher continuing to warm up in the right field bullpen. There's another foul ball that goes over the roof.
You can just tell by the body language. Giacchis is really excited to face O'Rourke here. Probably one of the better pitchers he'll face all season. This is a good matchup here. The best hitter in this FDNY lineup.
And a Mets fan, too, as he drills this one to left. McAdams going back on it near the wall. He looks up, and it's just foul. Home run distance for Giacchis, about 325 feet. But it was 2 feet foul.
He's looking to make it back-to-back games with a homer there. Just missed it down that left field line.
See the wide stance. That one's over the mound. It'll be played by Dillon. It's short, but he can't handle it cleanly. And Giacchis reaches with what goes in the books. And we'll wait for Brad Sarno, our public address announcer / official scorer.
A little deliberation here. Not an easy call.
Now, I would be inclined to give him a hit, but that's just me.
It would have been a very tough play for Dillon.
And they rule it an E6 on Pat Dillon. So here's Mike O'Hanlon.
The center fielder, number 3, Mike O'Hanlon.
Who takes a breaking ball low. O'Hanlon's mom, big Mets fan, very excited to have seen him at Citi Field last week.
Got to be a really special moment. He's a Yankee fan, but still playing at a place like Citi Field, special for all these FDNY players. They circle that game on the calendar every year playing the NYPD, and they got the best of them this year.
They'll have a rematch coming up here, in fact, at Clover Stadium 2 weeks from today. As that is swung on and missed. So O'Rourke is ahead here, 1-2. Nobody out in the bottom of the second. And the pitch in the dirt. It was blocked by the catcher, Lucy. Kept it in front of him, close enough that Giacchis couldn't even think about trying to advance.
Lucy with a nice play, bodying that one up, keeping it in front.
So you hear a name like O'Hanlon. Teammates not with us today, though. James McGee, a Mulligan, as that's in the dirt. So Irish blood on the FDNY squad, too. And, you know, we mentioned this against the NYPD with Dennis O'Sullivan managing them back a couple of months ago. Torn allegiances. This is popped up third base side. Might stay in play for Gallagher, and he makes the grab, leaning over the railing. Nice play by Dave Gallagher.
Very nice play. That was close to going out of play down that third base line, but he reaches over and makes the catch. And Mark, I just want to highlight that you were talking about all this Irish influence, not just on the Wolfhounds, but on their opponents as well. It really shows the Irish presence in baseball in this country. Very strong.
Josh Kistler, the catcher, fouls it off at the plate.
A lot of players in the major leagues with ties back to Ireland. You mentioned Packy Naughton.
Also want to wish the former vice consul for Ireland, Dermot Fitzpatrick, who joined us in the booth on Staten Island a few weeks ago. He has had his term end and headed back to the homeland. O'Rourke ahead here, 0-2, and it's fouled back to the screen by Kistler. Mentioned the Irish American Baseball Society earlier. U.S.-based nonprofit celebrating the contributions of Irish Americans to amateur and pro baseball. Supporting youth baseball, too, in Ireland and here in America. Another 0-2. That's inside. Got off the glove of Lucy toward the third base dugout, and that will allow Giakis to move up to second base. So that'll be a passed ball on Kevin Lucy. Members of the Irish American Baseball Society, baseball fans from Ireland and the U.S., some members you certainly may have heard of, guys like Steve Garvey, Jim Palmer, and the recently named batting coach of the Yankees, Sean Casey. Swing and a miss, gets away from Lucy, and he'll have to throw to first to complete the strikeout. As Giakis moves up to third base, Kistler retired for out number 2. Third strikeout for Ryan O'Rourke.
Good heads up there on the infield, too. You saw Gallagher sprint in to cover home plate as Lucy was pulled away to confirm then the strikeout. O'Rourke was there as well to make sure that Giakis didn't think about going from second to home on that play.
Right fielder Justin Pena comes up with the chance to get the Bravest on the board, but he swings and misses. So it's been an interesting trip around the bases so far for Giakis. Reached on an error, moved up to second on a pass ball, and took third on a wild pitch. 0-1. Swing and a miss. Good breaking ball from O'Rourke. Darting low and away to the right-handed hitter.
Most of these hitters have looked pretty fooled up there, not playing the guessing game a little between fastball and off speed.
That misses low and away. A ball and 2 strikes. And you can join the Irish American Baseball Society with a free membership. More info, visit irishbaseball.org. 1-2. Fastball missed upstairs. Of course, while you're at irishbaseball.org, check out all the Irish baseball gear, too. 2-2 with 2 outs. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. The shutout remains intact as O'Rourke notches his 4th strikeout. 2 innings in the books. Wolfhounds 2, FDNY nothing. Guest coach Eric Holtz, left of your screen, talking to the Bravest third baseman John Giakis. As we go to the top of the third, the Irish Wolfhounds with 2 runs on 2 hits. They have committed 1 error and left 1 man on base. The FDNY Bravest, no runs on no hits, 2 errors, and 1 man left. And to take you through the middle innings here this afternoon, I'll turn things over to Sam Davis.
Thank you very much, Mark. You mentioned top of the third, and it's top of the order for the Wolfhounds. It'll be Pat Dillon. He popped up to the second baseman his first time up to lead off this game. Watson's still on the mound for the FDNY. First pitch, a check swing. It's a called strike, 0-1. Dillon from the Bronx, New York, played at Trinity College. Hit over 300 in his career there. That one came in and hit him. So another hit by pitch. Watson's second in 3 innings. And Dillon will reach to lead off the third.
So we talked about Packy Naughton, who would qualify for inclusion on the Irish WBC team. Irish Baseball Ancestry Database is searchable now by Irish County and surname. IrishBaseball.org will tell you which players have Irish roots, and we can get you a sneak peek.
That one's popped up foul, out of play as Dillon was taken off towards second. A little hit and run for the Wolfhounds.
A couple of Hall of Famers. George Brett traces his Irish roots back to County Galway. Ted Williams, the late great, last man to bat 400 in the major leagues. County Cork. Trey Turner, ancestors from County Antrim.
Dillon stays put there, and that one's fired in there for a strike. It's quickly 0-2 on Joe Cosgrove, the right fielder. He struck out looking his first time up.
Guy named Pete Alonso. The polar bear. Who would have thought the polar bear would have roots in Donegal? Cody Bellinger as well. Mike Trout in town with the Angels to play the Mets, has his roots in County Limerick.
That's a foul tip there. The home plate umpire stepping away from home plate to give Kistler, the catcher, a little bit of time. Seems like he's all right. As Cosgrove hangs in there, battling down 0-2. The Wolfhounds up 2-0. They got 2 runs in the top of the first. After a costly, didn't go down as an error, but misplay of the ball in center field by Mike O'Hanlon.
That was basically a gift triple for Gallagher.
And that's what started things with 2 outs and led to the 2 runs. That one's fired up and away, ball 1.
Tom Maher, the left-hander, continuing to loosen up and get ready to come in for the Wolfhounds.
We will see him in the bottom half of the third inning. Ryan O'Rourke, 2 solid innings. Did let up a base runner, his first that he's done for the Wolfhounds, as Dillon takes off. This one's lined into center field, gets down for a base hit. Dillon will head over to third on the hit and run. And the Wolfhounds have runners at the corners with nobody out.
How about Joe Cosgrove? He's now 3 for 4 as a Wolfhound. Taking full advantage of the opportunity. Making a rare start in right field today.
Cosgrove just stuck that bat out with 2 strikes. Good piece of hitting. Able to put the ball in play. Advancing Dillon over to third, and now it's Dave Gallagher, the third baseman. We talked about it. He had that triple on the pop fly to center field. Came around to score. Gallagher from Cleveland, Ohio. Played at Marshall University, University of Mount Olive as well. Cosgrove jumping around over at first base, but not taken off. The pitch is high, ball 1.
Now, Cosgrove was originally slated to play left field today. Brendan Eaton was scheduled to start in center field, and he ran into some transportation issues.
That one's chopped foul. Ball and a strike.
Just awful traffic trying to get down from New Hampshire, so he had to abandon his trek. So, Brendan, if you're watching, we want to wish you all the best. You are missed. We look forward to seeing you for the Wolfhounds' next game. And, of course, keep an eye on irishbaseball.org for all the details. I'm hearing rumors of sometime in September.
That pitch is taken low. Cosgrove takes off. He has second with no throw. Stolen base. Dillon remains at third. Pitch was a ball, so it's 2-1. Good hitters count for Gallagher. He's got 2 runners in scoring position here. Gallagher played in the Wolfhounds' first game and missed the second one, but playing again here today. This one skied into shallow center field, a very similar spot to the first one. O'Hanlon battling the sun, makes the catch this time as Dillon will tag and head home. Cosgrove slides into third safely, and the Wolfhounds add to their lead. It's now 3-0.
Sacrifice fly for Gallagher. You mentioned he played the first game against the NYPD. He was plunked twice in that game while scoring a run. Was 0 for 3. And here today, 1 for 1 officially with a triple, now a sacrifice fly.
Good heads-up play there by Cosgrove as well. He tagged up and was able to advance to third. That puts him 90 feet away with less than 2 outs, 1 down in the inning. That one's spiked into the dirt. Tommy Dunleavy, he scored a run, came around all the way from first on a hit by Brian McAuliffe. Double back in the first inning. Looks to score Cosgrove here. Off-speed pitch taken outside. 2-0.
And Sam, let's tip the cap to O'Hanlon in center field. He did a much better job of following the flight of that ball. And more important, its descent into his glove.
Got to think O'Hanlon's heart must have sunk as he saw that ball coming towards him in the same exact spot as the first one. That's one of the more uncomfortable feelings you can have, not only as a baseball player, as an athlete in general. The ball's coming at you and you can't see it. Never fun. But O'Hanlon did a nice job, made the catch. That one's chopped down the first baseline, foul into the dugout. It'll be 2-2. Tommy Dunleavy, the center fielder for today's game from Oceanport, New York. Plays independent baseball here in New York. Plays in the Empire League.
Last game for the Wolfhounds had a single, a double, run scored, 2 RBIs.
This one's lined into left field and deep, but making the catch is Soler, but tagging from third and scoring easily is Cosgrove. And the Wolfhounds add another. It's now 4-0 here in the top of the third.
Now, you don't very often see consecutive sacrifice flies, but that is exactly how the Wolfhounds have padded their lead here in the third. A hit batter, a single, a stolen base, a sacrifice fly, and another sac fly.
Dunleavy hit that one hard the opposite way. Good piece of hitting, especially with 2 strikes, as this one's lined into right field. And it's over the head of the right fielder, Pena, rolling all the way to the wall. Digging into second base is McAuliffe. He's there standing, close play, but he's safe.
Brian McAuliffe with his second double in as many at-bats today.
Pena with a misread of that line drive there, but that ball was hit well into right field.
Well, the Adam ball usually is the toughest one to make a catch on, and a screaming line drive as McAuliffe got some really good contact. Pena's first step was in, and right away he knew that ball would be over his head.
2 outs. McAuliffe off a second. McAdams at the plate. Grounded out to third his first time up. One's taken inside off speed pitch for a strike. McAdams from Fairfield going into his sophomore year at Mercy College. Hit .324 his freshman year. Solid start to his career at the collegiate level. This one's popped up. Back behind home plate. Kistler running over, makes the catch. And that will do it for the third, but not before the Wolfhounds get 2 more runs off 2 sacrifice flies. We head to the bottom half of the third inning. This is Wolfhounds baseball here at Clover Stadium. Tommy Maher on the mound for the Wolfhounds. He will relieve Ryan O'Rourke, who was very good through 2 innings. Struck out 4 batters, just allowed just 1 base runner, but did not come around to score. Tommy Maher from Nanuet, New York. He's an incoming freshman, set to attend Bryant University in the fall. Getting an appearance here before that happens. Today's game brought to you in part by the St. Patrick's Day Foundation of NYC. The mission of the St. Patrick's Day Foundation is to support the New York City St. Patrick's Day Parade and related activities, to celebrate the contributions of the Irish to American society with student scholarships, educational initiatives, publications, and an ambitious year-round program of social and cultural events. It'll be 8-9-1 for the Bravest of FDNY. Joe Genobi, the designated hitter, starting things off here in the bottom of the third. That's up and in for a ball. 2-0.
And you mentioned Maher from Nanuet, Rockland County kid pitching in a Rockland County ballpark.
Little homecoming for him before he heads to Rhode Island. Bryant University, that one's poured in there for a strike, 2-1. Swing and a miss there from Genobi. 2 balls, 2 strikes, bottom of the third. The Wolfhounds got 2 runs in the first. They just got 2 more in the third, leading 4-0. Off 4 hits. This one skied into left center field, shallow. Coming in is the left fielder, McAdams. He will make the catch for the first out.
And Sean really bailed out Tommy Dunleavy, who lost that ball in the sun. Again, we saw Hanlon in center field for the Bravest have trouble back in the opening inning, and he had to fight his way to make a grab here in the third. But it looked like Dunleavy lost that one. Fortunately for him, McAdams coming in from left field, able to pick him up.
McAdams with the range over there in left, coming over to make that catch. It's now Esteban Soler, the 9-hitter for FDNY. He takes a strike.
And McAdams has played here before, too, with Mercy College in the East Coast Conference. They visit St. Thomas Aquinas College.
That's been off speed there from Maher for a strike. He's quickly ahead 0-2 on the 9-hitter Soler. That one's fired low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tommy Maher, like said earlier, the Wolfhounds debut here today. That one's taken outside. 2-2 count. Maher's got grandparents from County Leitrim, County Tipperary. Swing and a miss there. Gets Soler down on strikes. 2 down here in the third.
5 strikeouts now recorded by Wolfhounds pitching, and Ryan O'Rourke's finishing line, 2 innings, no runs, no hits, no walks, and 4 strikeouts. He has faced 1 over the minimum in 4 innings over 3 games.
Been absolutely dominant for these Wolfhounds. We saw him close the first 2 games out. He opened up game number 3. We'll see Mitch Hillert close this one out. That one's popped up foul over on the first base side. I'll be backing out of play. Look out over there. The section behind the fan down there in that first base dugout. Everybody's all right.
Norman Coleman Goodwin, who we saw pitch a previous Wolfhounds game, starting to loosen up in the bullpen up the right field line.
Maher's throwing strikes. He's ahead in the count 1-2 with 2 outs. To Brian Lubeck, back to the top of the order for the FDNY. That one's fired way upstairs to the backstop. Lubeck lined out to the second baseman Singer to open up the game.
And you mentioned the dominant pitching of O'Rourke. Wolfhounds offensively have outscored the opposition now 22-1.
Lubeck, 133 games in his career at St. Joseph's University in Brooklyn. This one's lined into deep left field, back at the track, at the wall, it's gone. A home run for Brian Lubeck. And the FDNY, they're on the board. It's 4-1.
That's the first home run we have seen in the 3 games that the Wolfhounds have played.
Lubeck got all of that one. Put it into the seats down that left field line. He didn't even need to use the short right porch.
Well, we were waiting to see who would be the big lumper. And it's Brian Lubeck. Maybe that's how it should have been.
Maher was in good shape. Had 2 strikes on Lubeck with 2 outs. But a mistake pitch, and Lubeck takes advantage of it for a home run. Dan Quinn, the second baseman, he struck out looking in the first. He bats here with 2 down.
Wherever he's watching, John Fitzgerald hopefully has a smile on his face that I got big lumper. And there was a story written earlier this week. One of the baseball teams locally, I think they meant big lumber because there were a bunch of home runs. And it somehow made it to print big lumper.
The big lumper.
So we were talking about that should be somebody's nickname. And if anybody had hit a home run today, I would try to work it in.
There's an off-speed pitch. Strike 3, swinging, and down goes Quinn. But a home run and the first run for the FDNY's Bravest. It's now 4-1. We head to the 4th here from Clover Stadium.
Hey everybody, it's the mayor here, Sean Casey. I just want to say I'm so excited that the Irish American Baseball Hall of Fame is coming back. And the Hall is also partnering with the Irish Baseball Society, 2 great organizations that do a ton of work in Ireland and America. I'm a proud member, and you guys can be too. Go to irishbaseball.org and join this great organization to see the great work they're doing in America and Ireland. Thanks, guys.
Welcome back to Clover Stadium. Sam Davis alongside Mark Renee here for the fourth. The Wolfhounds lead 4-1 over FDNY. We're now joined by Catriona Ballou. She threw out the first pitch before today's game. NYU students written the screenplay for Black Sunday Trial by Fire, a story of the tragic death of her father, another firefighter, in the 2005 fire in the Bronx. Cat, it was a good pitch. Thank you for joining us here.
Thank you for having me.
And, I really want to just jump in, to the story. And for me, just break down what this story was like, writing, what that process was like, going back all the way to that 2005 fire.
Yeah, so I've always been into reading and writing, and I knew that I wanted to write the story at some point, but I wasn't ready to do it until probably just about when I started writing it. And so I interviewed my mom, I interviewed surviving firemen in the fire, and I read hundreds and hundreds of pages of court cases and actual documents that are in the news, things like that. And it came really easily because I knew the story so well. And I've just been revising and revising until I finally got to a point where I'm really happy with it, and I'm excited for it to be made.
What is it like to be working on a project like this that hits so close to home and obviously is not a happy subject, but you have no choice but to throw yourself into it on a regular basis?
Creatively, it helps being so close to home because I know it so well, and while it's emotional, there's nothing I have to second guess, like, oh, should this person act this way, should this person act that way. But emotionally, it has been tough. I've had to read things, articles, and listen to tapes from the fire that I've never had to listen to before because I've been protected from it, but now I'm not protected from it because I don't want to be. And that's been very emotional, but it's also been really interesting to know all the details that I've never known before.
And there's some therapeutic value in it too, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I was only 2 years old at the time of the fire, so I don't have really memories of my dad, but I feel like I can kind of create them. I can create a picture of him in my mind by hearing all the stories from his friends and things like that.
JP Dolan reaches on a walk there. Chris Torres, the new pitcher for FDNY, joined by Catriona Ballou. Share some for those that don't know about the story of Black Sunday, share some details about what your screenplay is based off.
So the fire happened January 23rd, 2005. It was during a blizzard, and my dad was a fireman on duty. He was a chauffeur on that day, and because there was a blizzard going on, there was a lot of technical issues with the fire. He was on the floor above where the fire started, and he and the other firemen could not find a fire escape. And they later learned, well, unfortunately my dad didn't learn, but everybody else learned that there was an illegal wall that was blocking the fire escape. And the men on that floor were forced to jump. And my dad and one other fireman died that day. The rest were critically injured. On the same day, there was another fire in Brooklyn where somebody died. So it's a historic day in FDNY history for that reason. And later, we went on to learn that 5 years before this fire, the city of New York had taken away equipment that would have saved all of these firemen's lives. So it's about the injustices that the city had against them, as well as the illegal subletting of the tenants. And so my story starts the day before the fire, continues on to the criminal trial that came after it.
This one's lined into center field. It'll be an out there, the first of the inning. And what were the repercussions of any sort of regulations, anything that came out of this tragic event for the fire department, especially in New York?
It's what people call the best thing that came out of the fire is that within 6 months, they reinstated equipment called the life-saving ropes that has gone on to save many, many people's lives since. And the impressive part is that they were able to create this equipment within 6 months, which is essentially unheard of when creating new equipment like that. But they realized how it needed to be done.
Yeah, we were talking to Mike O'Hanlon the other day, center fielder for the Bravest, and he mentioned that he's been aware of your dad and the story because of the equipment being reintroduced.
Yeah, it's taught in the Fire Academy. So it's taught in the Fire Academy, and crazy story, I met Mike O'Hanlon through the FDNY baseball team, and I found out that it was my best friend's cousin. My best friend my entire life, and that's her cousin.
Wow. You know, the world is so small.
It's
You and I
so
were talking
small.
the other day. I don't know if I told you this, Sam, but I actually met Kat and most of her family at Citi Field
Crazy.
10 years ago.
Crazy.
Because Rusty Staub, the late, great former Met, was essentially the one who spearheaded the Widows and Children's Foundation for the FDNY and the NYPD, and he was running a function at Citi Field that day. And if memory serves, I think your family was on the field before the game.
Yeah, I think my younger brother, who was probably 4 or 5 at the time, threw out the first pitch.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I saw your name in the run-up to today, and I said, very familiar name. And I went back and I looked through my records that I keep, and there you guys were.
This one's popped back and out of play. Foul. Kat, did you have a chance to talk to any of the FDNY players before the game? Or?
I spoke to Mike O'Hanlon, who I had met previously, and somebody introduced himself, Tom, I believe, and he introduced himself to me because he works with my cousin, Danny Ballou, who's in the FDNY, and that's his lieutenant. So that was really nice to find out, because I do have a lot of family that's in the FDNY.
And for the people who want to get involved in backing the project, the website is johnbellew.com, JOHNBELLEW.
Yes.
And how else can folks reach out to you and get in touch?
On my website, I have my contact information, which is Katriana at johnbellew.com, KATREANA. And you can buy hats to help promote the movie and also just to support the story. And we also have a donation button. And yeah, just spreading it to as many people as you know on social media, that would really be helpful.
And you've got your table set up on the concourse here at Clover Stadium, which will be available for people who come in for the game tonight. The Boulders will be playing the Tri-City Valley Cats. So anybody who's on their way to the ballpark, when you walk in the home plate gate, you guys will be right there.
Yes, we will.
Back to the top of the order for the Wolfhounds. It's Pat Dillon. 2 runners on here with 1 out in the 4th. Talking to Kat Ballou. And Kat, now, you've finished the screenplay, correct? You've finished writing.
Yes.
Now, what are the next steps going forward for this project?
So since the screenplay's been finished, I've been accepted or won awards in over 14 screenplay festivals and counting right now because I'm still up for some of them. So in the next few months, I'll be traveling to those film festivals to meet actors, directors, producers, whoever, trying to get people who work in the industry involved in the project. And now I'm at the stage where I'm raising investment for the project, which is a lot of money, but it will hopefully get done with all of this promotion.
And it's a 100-page screenplay,
110
correct?
pages.
And now how long did that take you to put together and write?
So I wrote it in increments because I was working with a workshop group who helped every 20 pages or so.
Okay.
In total, about 2.5 months for the first draft, and then I would say 5 months until I got to the version that I'm at now. But screenplays are always changing.
That one's grounded to third. Kat, you'll stay with us as we head to the bottom of the 4th. No scoring there for the Wolfhounds. 4-1. We'll be right back from Clover Stadium. Back here at Clover Stadium, heading to the bottom of the fourth. Norman Coleman Goodwin on in relief for the Wolfhounds. We're back here, Sam Davis, Mark Renee, along with Catriona Ballou. Black Sunday, Trial by Fire, her screenplay. And Kat, we talked a lot about it, and we mentioned it before, but once again, want to shout out that website, johnbellew.com, JohnBellew.
You can find us on Instagram at Black Sunday Film.
The Instagram plug as well. And so, Kat, I want to ask, from the screenplay, what was or what do you hope is kind of the biggest message or the biggest takeaway that you would want the general public, those that, first of all, might not know the story, but also might not be even very familiar with the fire department in New York? What do you want the general public to kind of take away from this project?
I want people to know the story in general because I think it's important about building safety violations and how you don't realize who you're putting at risk when you do things that you shouldn't be doing in your buildings. I also just want to honor the FDNY because they've done so much for me my entire life. And I want people to understand how important they are to the city and to the country, and they really are the nation's bravest. And I really just want... It's also a story of just like family grief, and I think that relates to people on another level. Even if you don't know anything about the fire department or you don't care about the fire department, you'll relate to the people in this story.
One's lined into left center field. It's a base hit. Stopping at first is Tommy Resnick. A long single for him into the gap. He leads off the bottom of the fourth. The FDNY trailing by 3, 4-1.
And Dunleavy was playing him to pull over toward right center field, but Resnick able to slice it into left center. So I have two questions for you before we let you go.
Okay.
We've got the green caps, FDNY in white lettering underneath a navy blue shamrock with a 4915. Can you tell everybody about the significance of the numerals, please?
So 4915 is my dad's badge number, and the shamrock is, as we discussed earlier, because every fireman I know is Irish. And I'm from Pearl River, New York, which is one of the most Irish towns and also one of the most supportive towns in this whole process. And on the back is the website so that when you wear it, you're promoting the movie.
So a lot of Irish connections here. We talked about it earlier in the game. The FDNY littered with a lot of Irish heritage throughout their lineup, and obviously the Wolfhounds the same.
Norman Coleman Goodwin, who worked the sixth inning against the Blue Sox and struck out 2 of the 3 batters he faced, able to induce an around-the-horn double play to wipe out Resnick, who singled to start the inning. So my last question is, as you are a film student at NYU, the professor in me is curious to know if you're getting credit for the screenplay.
I did write this screenplay in my last class, and I did get an A in that class.
I would hope so. I mean, geez, I would hope, with all the awards from the festivals, I would hope.
So that's
an A
good.
was coming.
And my screenwriting professor was incredibly helpful in helping me like hone down what the story I want to tell is. And I'm very grateful because at NYU, everything you write there, everything you create there is your own property, which actually isn't true for some colleges, which is crazy.
Very correct.
That's shocking to hear. Would never think that something that a college student would write would not be their own.
If you write something super successful at some schools, the college gets all of the money for it if you sell it.
You have to read the fine print. You and I talked off the air about the implications of the ongoing Screen Actors Guild and Writers Guild strikes. How much of a hindrance can that be as it continues into your production process?
Yeah, so because I'm not a part of the guild, I am not directly affected, but it has been something that I'm trying to respect the strike so that I don't mess up anything, and I'm not trying to disrespect anybody. and we'll see how, when I go into production and when I start to do pre-production.
Hey everybody, it's the mayor here, Sean Casey. I just want to say I'm so excited.
And lastly, if you don't mind me asking, it's a 110-page screenplay.
And the hall is also partnering with the Irish Baseball
kind of a
Society,
sense do you
two
get
great
of how
organizations that do a ton of work in Ireland
film
and America.
that would
I'm a
turn out
proud
to
member,
Yeah, so
and you
usually
guys
the
can be too.
rule is
Go to
a page a minute, so
irishbaseball.org
it'd be
and join this
110
great
minutes
organization to see the great
about
work
that.
they're doing in
Okay.
America and
Which is
Ireland. Thanks,
really
guys.
perfect for
about 2
theaters
hours.
and festivals.
Yeah.
Sure.
Catriona Ballou. Check out the website one more time, johnballou.com. That's JOHNBELLEW.com. Learn more about the story. Donate to the cause. The preview of the film is out on YouTube. Check that out as well. An amazing story of remembrance. And, Kat, thank you for spending some time talking with us about it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Kat, really good to see you again. Continued good luck with the project, and condolences on
Thank
the
you.
loss of your dad, obviously.
Thank you.
The fifth inning right around the corner here at Clover Stadium. We'll be right back. Back here at Clover Stadium, the Irish Wolfhounds lead 4-1 over the FDNY's Bravest. Much thanks to Catriona Ballou for taking some time to talk with us, share her incredible story of an incredible screenplay that we hope we see going forward. But back to baseball. No runs scored in the fourth for either the Wolfhounds or FDNY as Chris Torres starts his second inning of work to Dave Gallagher. First pitch is thrown in there for a strike, 0-1.
Kevin Watson started for the Bravest. He is on the hook after giving up 4 runs on 4 hits.
That one's lined down the left field line. It gets down. It's a fair ball. Gallagher digging for second, sliding in safely with a leadoff double.
Gallagher 2 for 2, couple of extra base hits and a sacrifice fly. He has had a very productive day.
Gallagher making his presence known. He missed out on the second game for the Wolfhounds, but he's back for this third contest between the Wolfhounds and the FDNY and showing himself very nicely.
I mentioned he was on base twice against the NYPD. Got hit by pitches both those times. Stole a base and scored a run.
That one's lined to the right field line. That'll be foul. We got some nice hats here, courtesy of Kat Ballou. But fans, you can get all your Irish baseball gear over at irishbaseball.org, whether it's St. Patrick's Day, opening day, any day. Show your support for Irish baseball with t-shirts, caps, jerseys, and more. Head on over to irishbaseball.org to get all your Irish baseball gear. 0-1 to Tommy Dunleavy. That one's popped up. Over to first. Resnick underneath it makes the catch for the first out.
Caught it in fair territory, too. Nice play by Resnick, shielding his eyes from the glare with his first base mitt on the right hand.
We got some fun facts for you as well. That baseball is played in Ireland in the 1950s and 60s. It was brought to Ireland by a man named Clive Butterworth. He introduced the game in Tramore, County Waterford around 1958. The game would later spread to Waterford City and then to Dublin. Head on over to irishbaseball.org. Learn more about this incredible story and the unknown history of baseball in Ireland. That one's lined over to short. Picking it up there, Lubeck fires over to first for the second out. Gallagher will move up to third base. Now with 2 down in the inning.
Sam, the Bravest finally keep Brian McAuliffe off the bases. He had a couple of doubles and an RBI his first 2 times up.
Four to 1 our score in the top of the 5th. About to be halfway through this game from Clover Stadium.
McAuliffe now 5 for 10 as a Wolfhound.
That one's chopped down to third, foul. Norman Coleman Goodwin on the mound for the Wolfhounds. He worked a scoreless half in the bottom of the 4th. Starting to see some action in the bullpen for Ireland. Looks like it'll be Garrett Crowley next on the mound. Sean McAdams here at the plate. Gallagher 90 feet away to make this 5-1. McAdams will look to get him in as that one's spiked into the dirt, a ball. One ball and a strike, 2 outs. Sean McAdams has a couple RBIs for the Wolfhounds. Had scored 2 runs last game against the Blue Sox. Also had an RBI against the NYPD. 0 for 2 today, though. Looking to change that right here. Add another RBI. Good hitters count here, 2-1. This one's chopped over to third. Giakis picks it, throws to first. And that will do it for the top of the 5th. No score in that inning, 4-1. The Wolfhounds still in the lead halfway through this one. This is Irish Wolfhounds baseball. Sidewinder Norman Coleman Goodwin back out on the mound for his second inning of work. It'll be 6-7-8 for FDNY. Josh Kistler will lead things off. Kistler from the right side. The catcher 0 for 1 with his strikeout, takes a ball. The Irish Youth Baseball Program teaches baseball to boys and girls in Ireland and Northern Ireland. The program is a collaboration between Emerald Diamond International and youth baseball clubs, the GAA, and schools in Ireland and Northern Ireland. Since the program was started back in 2021, over 5,000 boys and girls have played baseball for the first time. The Irish Youth Baseball Program is made possible by the support of Two Bridges Asset Management and the Emerald Guild Society of NYC. Of course, if you'd like to help young boys and girls play baseball in Ireland, you got to head over to irishfundraiser.org to make an online donation. Every donation helps, only takes a minute. That web address again, irishfundraiser.org. This one's popped up. Shallow infield coming over Gallagher, the third baseman. He ranges and makes the catch for the first out in the 5th.
I mean, that was not an easy play. Not a lot of hang time on that pop-up, and it was in a no man's land right behind the mound. Gallagher with the good hustle might have been the only one with a chance to make that play.
It'll be Justin Pena, the right fielder. He's also, for one, struck out back in the second. One of the 4 strikeout victims of Ryan O'Rourke. Swings through that first pitch. Fans, the Irish American Baseball Hall of Fame, it's now a part of the Irish American Baseball Society. That one runs in and hits Pena. As the Irish American Baseball Hall of Fame, it recognizes the accomplishments of people with a connection to the global Irish community who have distinguished themselves in the game of baseball. Prior inductees include Nolan Ryan, Steve Garvey, and Sean Casey. To learn more about the Irish American Baseball Hall of Fame, visit irishbaseball.org.
I had a chance to go to one of the induction ceremonies at Foley's a few years ago. Among the honorees that day was Pat Hughes, play-by-play radio voice of the Chicago Cubs, who actually got inducted to Cooperstown just last month. Congrats to Pat. What a great guy. Terrific pipes.
Mike, you'll like this transition. Speaking of Foley's, what about Curry Foley?
Oh,
have you heard of Curry Foley?
That's
Born
a good one.
in County Kerry, became the first major leaguer to hit for the cycle, May 25th, 1882. As that's a strike 3 call looking there to Joe Ginobili. There's now 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th. Esteban Soler, the 9-hitter, will now come up and look to keep the inning alive for FDNY.
NCG with his second strikeout. That is 8 now for Wolfhounds pitching on the day. Tommy Marr worked the third. 1 hit, the home run by Lubeck. But he struck out 2 after Ryan O'Rourke struck out 2 each of the first 2 innings.
Wolfhounds pitching picking up right where they left off after throwing a combined 1-hitter in their last game against the Blue Sox. Given up 2 hits so far today. You mentioned all those strikeouts. The 1 run on the home run from Brian Lubeck back in the 3rd inning. Other than that, Wolfhounds have been pretty good, as that's a ball taken and a stolen base there for Pena. Caught the Wolfhounds sleeping a little bit. Got a good jump off of Coleman Goodwin. Stole the bag.
First stolen base of the day for the Bravest.
He's in scoring position now with 2 outs as that one's taken up and in, ball 3. A full count to Soler. This will be a big batter for Coleman Goodwin to get. It's the top of the order. And a guy who just homered in Brian Lubeck waits on deck. Represent the tying run if he gets up, but he will not, as it's a swing and a miss from Soler. Coleman Goodwin bears down and gets the final out here in the 5th. Heading to the 6th. It's 4-1, the Wolfhounds in front. grounds crew putting some work in on the field here at Clover Stadium, top of the 6th. The Wolfhounds 4, FDNY 1. And we welcome you back to Irish Wolfhounds Baseball, presented by the Irish American Baseball Society. It'll be still Chris Torres on the mound. Celebrate Irish baseball. Visit irishbaseball.org for more information. We've been talking about all the various projects of the Irish American Baseball Society, the Hall of Fame, of course, this Wolfhounds team and their goal to get to the World Baseball Classic. Guest coach Eric Holtz, formerly coaching Team Israel, led them to the Olympics. World Baseball Classic qualifiers as well. Says this team has what it takes.
Leading off for the Irish Wolfhounds, the designated hitter, number 21, J.P. Dolan.
It'll be J.P. Dolan leading off the 6th. Reached on an error and also walked. The player coach for the Wolfhounds, Floral Park, New York. Played his baseball at Queens College. That one's taken low, 1-0.
Another rival of the Stack Spartans, so he has played here multiple times as well, going back to his college days.
Torres delivers a ball inside, 2-0. Chris Torres has been pretty solid since he's came in relief. The Wolfhounds got 2 runs in the first, 2 in the third. Torres has kept them off the scoreboard the last 2 innings. That's an off-speed pitch. Flipped in there. 2-1 is the count.
Did a nice job in the 5th inning of working around the leadoff double by Dave Gallagher.
That one's taken upstairs. 3-1 for J.P. Dolan. Three balls, 1 strike, top of the 6th. Torres delivers. This one's flied over to third. Easy play there for Giakis. He makes the catch for the first out. There's a lot of baseball firsts accomplished by Irish American baseball players. We talked about Curry Foley last inning, the first major league to hit for the cycle, but a lot more. Baseball's first 300-game winner was James Francis Galvin, better known as Pud Galvin. He also threw baseball's first perfect game. Pete Dowling threw the first no-hitter in the American League in 1901. April 22nd, 1876, Tim McGinley scored the first run in Major League Baseball history, and he was knocked in by another Irishman, Jack Manning. Irish heritage sprinkled throughout the history of Major League Baseball. We still see that today, and we're seeing that with these Wolfhounds.
I'm going to tell you about Pud Galvin. Every time I have a chance to include him on my immaculate grid.
You do? Is he one of those guys?
Always under 1%.
That's a good pull. This one's lined into left center field. That'll get down for a base hit. Kevin Lucy has his first hit as a Wolfhound. Takes a big turnover at first, but he's back to the bag with a 1-out single.
The second baseman, number 7, Kyle Singer.
Kevin Lucy's done a great job behind the plate. Multiple games. This is his third for the Wolfhounds. And a player who's playing in his first game is Kyle Singer. He's up now, the 9-hitter, with Lucy leading off first. That one's chopped between first and second, and it's going to be an infield single for Singer. Put it in no man's land and was able to beat it out. So the Wolfhounds turn their lineup over. We head back to the top of the order. Pat Dillon with 2 runners on and 1 out. It's been a beautiful day here at Clover Stadium. It was a little hot earlier when, Mark, you and I were down at the field, but I tell you, it's nice and comfortable in this booth. I don't know. I'm sure the players are sweating a little bit down there. It's a warm one.
It was a little steamy after the rain moved out of the area this morning. By the way, we're talking Irish baseball. Wee Willie Keeler, famous for his saying, hit 'em where they ain't, and that's exactly what Kyle Singer just did.
Off speed, flipped in there for a strike.
Keeler born William Henry O'Kelleher, as a matter of fact, son of Brooklyn.
Torres comes set with 2 runners on and 1 out in the 6th. This one's chopped over to short. Firing to second for 1 on to first, and safe as Dillon will beat it out. But a nice play from Lubeck in the hole. Got the force out at second. Couldn't turn the double play, but there's now 2 outs in the inning with runners at the corners.
And some good hustle by Dillon, just beating the relay from Quinn at second base.
Lubeck has been really impressive over there at short. Definitely shined as the player of the game for FDNY so far, as he's homered and made a couple of really nice defensive plays at the shortstop position. Joe Cosgrove taking off as Dillon. The pitch is high, and he's in standing with a stolen base. So now 2 runners in scoring position for the Wolfhounds with 2 outs. Cosgrove could get a big hit here and add some insurance for Ireland. Cosgrove played on Ireland's gold medal team at the 2018 European qualifiers. On that team, he led Ireland in average OPS, RBIs, and hits. It was a big part and a leading producer offensively for that group.
And he was telling me that he's got a lot of buddies back home in Florida, the Orlando area, very interested in potentially joining the Wolfhounds.
Always great to hear. Getting all these players involved with their Irish heritage. This one's lined over to short, and making the catch there is Lubeck. The shoestring catch to prevent any further damage. So the Wolfhounds will strand 2, and the
hey everybody, it's the mayor here,
remains
Sean
4-1.
Casey. I just want to say I'm so excited that the Irish
Halfway through
American
the 6th,
Baseball
heading to
Hall
the
of
bottom
Fame is coming
from Clover
back.
Stadium.
And the Hall is also partnering with the Irish Baseball Society, 2 great organizations that do a ton of work in Ireland and America. I'm a proud member, and you guys can be too. Go to irishbaseball.org and join this great organization to see the great work they're doing in America and Ireland. Thanks, guys.
On the mound for the Irish Wolfhounds now is Garrett Crowley. Familiar face for myself. Spent 3 years at Fordham. Got to know him there. He currently pitching with Texas Tech. Has been pitching there for the last couple of years, originally from Queens, New York. Did pitch an inning in the last Wolfhounds game. So back for his 2nd game with the team. He will take over the responsibilities on the mound in the bottom of the 6th And he's facing the top of the order for FDNY. It'll be Lubeck, Quinn, and Resnick. 1, 2, 3. As they trail 4-1 here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Norman Coleman Goodwin, the official scorers in us might put him in line for the win. 2 innings, no runs, 1 hit. No walks, 3 strikeouts, and a hit batter. We told everybody we'd keep them up to date on the Fighting Irish football game. Notre Dame over in Dublin, leading Navy in the first quarter, 14-0. Couple of touchdown runs to kick off the season. So I was mentioning earlier, we used to have the Kickoff Classic in the Meadowlands. Most fun I ever had at a college football game because USC came in one year, and their band puts on a 5th quarter show that rivals a Bruce Springsteen concert.
Really?
They go on for hours.
Was this 5th quarter mean after the game?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if it meant maybe halftime.
Oh, no.
After the game, on the field.
No, they stayed in the stands.
Okay. Interesting.
And it was a party in the stands for about 3.5 hours after the game ended.
Wow. That's a long day at the stadium, but sounds like it's worth it. Crazy. Football's already started here, college football.
Tremendous.
Getting underway in Dublin. Crowley jams Lubeck, but it's going to fall into right field for a base hit. Everything going right for Lubeck today. He gets that base hit to fall. Homered last time up. And he leads off the bottom of the 6th with a single.
And you and I were talking between innings about, how hard it is to believe that here we are, college football season ready. And you were talking about how you were ready for it for a while now. And obviously local baseball fans here, if you root for the Yankees or the Mets, you've been ready for football season for about a month already.
Exactly. I think most New York baseball fans would say they're ready for football with the way those seasons have gone. If the Mets or Yankees were fighting for a playoff spot, different story probably. As it's Dan Quinn, who's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, takes the ball outside from Garrett Crowley.
Well, I did some digging, and especially because both teams woke up this morning last in their respective divisions, they have never, and obviously the Mets have only been around, I say only, relatively speaking, Yankees since 1903.
Lubeck takes off. The throw down to second, not in time, a stolen base.
Mets since 1962, but there has never been a season that they both finished in last place. And we could very well be about 35 or 36 games away from that happening.
I wouldn't be shocked if it happens with the way that this season has gone in New York. As Lubeck now leads off of second with the FDNY trailing by 3. Crowley on the mound from the stretch facing the 2-hitter Dan Quinn. 1-1 count. Swing and a miss. Chases that pitch in the dirt. Crowley's up in the count now, 1-2.
And this is the 3rd time the Bravest have put a runner in scoring position. Giakis made it as far as 3rd base in the 2nd inning. Pena got to 2nd base back in the 5th.
The 1-2 pitch to Quinn. Spiked low. Crowley looked to get him to chase. Did not.
Of course, the only run for the FDNY on the Lubeck home run with 2 outs in the 3rd off of Tommy Marr.
Crowley's got grandparents from Galway. This one's fired way upstairs. Guy with great stuff. The only thing you worry about is the control. A little unlucky to lead off the inning with the Lubeck jam single, but is now trying to bear down on a 3-2 pitch here to the 2-hitter Dan Quinn. Resnick waits on deck. Swing and a miss. Quinn bails him out, chases the high heat, and he's down for the first out in the bottom of the 6th.
Quinn has now struck out all 3 times up this afternoon.
First baseman number 22, Tommy Resnick.
He was close to ball 4, but could not lay off the high cheese from Crowley. Tommy Resnick, he's 1 for 2, single last time up. Little first baseman, batting from the left side, takes the ball. 1-0.
And your pal Crowley could be in a little bit of a sticky wicket here. Next batter reaches base would bring up the tying run, and you don't want to be facing Giakis, who is the #1 power threat for the Bravest.
This one skied above us. Backing out of play on the roof. If you had to guess if any player in this FDNY lineup was going to homer today, you would think it would be Giakis with the home run at Citi Field. Back-to-back years with a homer against the NYPD. But it was Lubeck in the third inning, the lone run. He leads off of second. And he's running towards third. Lucy fires a strike. The throw, he got him. Lubeck tried to swipe third, and he's gunned down by Lucy for out number 2.
Throw was right on the bag. Tag slapped down by Gallagher. And it looked like Lubeck had a pretty good jump, but the throw was even better.
Crowley gets his defense to help him out and then immediately punches out Resnick to end the threat in the 6th. No runs across for FDNY. They still trail 4-1 here at Clover Stadium. The Irish Wolfhounds in the lead. It's still Chris Torres on the mound for the FDNY here in the top of the 7th. Fans, you may not believe this, but the first professional baseball game in Ireland was played in 1874. Over the course of 3 days in August, the Boston Red Stockings faced the Philadelphia Athletics in a series of exhibition games, culminating in a U.S. versus Ireland matchup. It saw a team of American baseball players, including Andy Leonard, born in Cavan, against a team of all-star cricket players from Dublin. We also have plenty of partner organizations to thank. The Irish American Baseball Society would like to thank especially the Ashling Irish Community Center in Yonkers, New York. That's AISLING center.org. The Irish Business Organization of New York, IBONewYork.org. The New York Gaelic Athletic Association, GAANewYork.com. The Irish American Business Chamber and Network, IABCN.org. The Irish Heritage Center of Greater Cincinnati, that's cincyirish.org. The Emerald Isle Immigration Center, EIIC.org. And finally, the St. Patrick's Day Parade Foundation, that's stpatricksdayparadefoundation.org.
And indeed, we do have a new pitcher. It's right-hander Emerson Murillo, who comes on after Chris Torres worked 3 innings, gave up no runs on 4 hits and a walk.
Yes, excuse me. Emerson Murillo now on the mound for that 7th. Chris Torres very solid as this one's grounded over to third. Giakis up with it, throws to first. It's a strike for the first down, and Gallagher's retired here to lead off the 7th.
Gallagher had a triple, a sacrifice fly, and a double his first 3 times up.
Tommy Dunleavy hit by a pitch, scored a run his first time up. Also had a sacrifice fly, part of 2 sac flies in the 3rd inning for the Wolfhounds. Popped out last time, so he's 0 for 1. With an RBI and a run scored. A good day for Dunleavy, who fouls off the first pitch down the first baseline foul.
And Sam, we should also recognize the 2023 Heritage Award winners, celebrating the achievements of players on the baseball field, in the classroom, and in the community. The award applications and nominations were reviewed by a panel of current and former major leaguers, both players and coaches, led by the legendary Steve Garvey. Other panel members include fellow Irish-American Baseball Hall of Famer Sean Casey, Mike Sweeney, and Joe McEwing. You can find out the names of the award winners at irishbaseball.org.
Congratulations to all of them as Dunleavy flew out to center field. O'Hanlon was able to handle it. 2 down in the top of the 7th. It's Brian McAuliffe. 2 doubles on the day for him, a couple of RBIs.
Newest class of award winners, ranging from the class of 2023 to 2028.
That one's taken low.
Been talking about St. Thomas Aquinas College, which plays its home baseball games here in the springtime, and was driving by campus the other day. Big banner welcoming the class of 2027.
2027. That makes me feel old even.
You just wonder where the time has gone.
I know.
Class of 2027. I have some friends who just sent their kids off for their first days of freshman year and orientation. I said, how are you old enough to have a kid in college? We just graduated ourselves.
Time's a funny thing, isn't it? Moves by quickly. Feels like just yesterday we were here for the Wolfhounds' first game at Clover Stadium. Now we're in their 3rd game in August, end of August. And like you teased, potentially one coming up. As this one's grounded up the middle, a base hit, a 2-out single for Brian McAuliffe. He's now 3 for 4 on the day. Have a day, Brian McAuliffe.
Now 6 for 11 in the 3 games for the Wolfhounds.
If you had to give an MVP today, at least at the plate, seems like he'd be your guy with those 3 hits. Had the big double in the first inning that started the scoring for the Wolfhounds. Sean McAdams will dig in with 2 outs. He's 0 for 3 today. That one's taken up high. 1-0. Emerson Maria, one of 4 pitchers for the FDNY. 2 of them have already gotten into the game so far, Kevin Watson and Chris Torres. Tim Panetta also available. That one's fired up and away. 2-0. Falls behind Sean McAdams.
And really, for the first time today, we've got sustained sunshine on the field here at Clover Stadium.
This one's chopped over to 3rd. Giacchis up with it. Throws across the diamond to retire the side. It's stretch time here at Clover Stadium. 4-1, Wolfhounds in front.
Hey everybody, it's the mayor here, Sean Casey. I just want to say I'm so excited that the Irish American Baseball Hall of Fame is coming back. And the Hall is also partnering with the Irish Baseball Society, 2 great organizations that do a ton of work in Ireland and America. I'm a proud member, and you guys can be too. Go to irishbaseball.org and join this great organization to see the great work they're doing in America and Ireland. Thanks, guys.
Crowley for one more.
And then Hillard for
Yep. That's what it looks like.
Garrett Crowley will have one more on the mound. Mitch Hillert still waiting for the potential of the 8th or 9th inning, potentially both. Crowley's second inning of work, and he's going to deal with John Giakis, the power threat for FDNY.
Sam, we would be remiss if we didn't shout out Brother Jasper, the former prefect at Manhattan College, and credited with essentially inventing the 7th inning stretch.
Now, I did not know that, so that's a nice little fun fact to add in there. On theme, of course.
Irish roots.
With the Irish Wolfhounds.
Sure.
That one's up and away. Taken for a ball, 2-0. Take a second to highlight the Irish Green Sox program. It's a nationwide youth baseball organization with ties to the Irish American community. The Green Sox program, run by Emerald Diamond International, the parent organization of the Irish American Baseball Society. The program is open to any player, regardless of their ancestry. Learn more at irishgreensox.com. Crowley gets over a strike. It's 2 balls, 1 strike to Giakis. A big at-bat here with the Wolfhounds leading by 3. And Giakis goes up and chases that high fastball. 2-2.
That sure was a home run cut for the former FDU Knight.
Wasn't a home run pitch, as that was up and out of the zone. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Popped up foul. Back and out of play.
Yeah, you can see why he was so successful at the collegiate level. Despite the wide stance, he really has a solid weight transfer from the back to the front. All his power comes through, and he's pretty compact.
This one's lined and into left field for a base hit past the diving Gallagher. And a leadoff single for John Giakis. He smoked that ball into left field.
Man, I'll tell you what, if Gallagher had somehow been able to make that play, you would have seen it all night and tomorrow on SportsCenter.
You would have, because that was a great effort there, going to the dive. Could not come up with it. It's not a comfortable lead by any means for the Wolfhounds, just 3. As Mike O'Hanlon, the co-captain of this FDNY group, he bats here, the center fielder, 0 for 2. Swings through the first pitch from Crowley.
Well, you remember the first game against the NYPD here in mid-June was a tight 1, 2-1 till the 7th inning. Wolfhounds put up 7 runs in their half of the 7th.
They've had a couple chances to add some insurance runs in this game, but they haven't been able to do it. Had a good chance last inning in the 6th. Stranded a couple runners.
Against the court officers team last month on Staten Island, a 5-run first propelled them to victory.
Crowley throws over to first to check on Giakis, who's back standing.
So really the task here for Crowley is to keep it as close to a 4-1 game as he can, and then let the Wolfhounds try to add on in the 8th.
Squaring to bunt there's O'Hanlon, but he pulls it back and takes a strike, and now he's down in the count 1-2.
Well, up the middle between Singer and Dillon, they are cheating for the double play. Big hole on the right side of the infield.
Swing and a miss. 1 out on the strikeout from Crowley. O'Hanlon goes down. Blows it past him, and now it'll be the catcher, Josh Kistler.
And Garrett Crowley brought the heat there, blew the fastball right by O'Hanlon for his 3rd strikeout.
Giakis leads off a first. 1 out here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Kistler chases the pitch upstairs. Home plate umpire said he did go around. It's 0-1.
See that eye-level pitch, your pupils tend to dilate. The ball will look as big as a beach ball sometimes. And then when you realize it's too high. You've already started your swing and you can't hold up. That was the problem for Kistler.
Crowley's been attacking the upper part of the zone, and it's been working so far. And he throws another strike in there, quickly 0-2.
Changing the eye level as he goes from high to about thigh high.
See if he goes back upstairs here, ahead in the count. Trying to get Kistler to chase. He fires strike 3 in there. Kistler down looking. Back-to-back strikeouts for Crowley. And now 2 outs in the 7th.
And that makes it, by my count, 13 strikeouts through 6 2/3. You wondered what they could do for an encore after the 19 Ks against the Blue Sox.
The one blemish in the score card is the home run from Lubeck, but other than that, it's been pretty dominant work from the Wolfhounds pitching so far. Pena, the 7-hitter, will bat with 2 outs. FDNY led off the inning with a Giacchis single, but he's still over there at first. 1-1 count. One ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Crowley deals from the stretch, and it's a swing and a miss for Pena. He's down in the count, 1-2. After the leadoff single, Crowley looking to go 1-2-3 here in the 7th. Got out of a little bit of trouble in the 6th inning. A couple strikeouts there as this one's hit, thrown into the dirt. Gets away from Lucy, which will allow Giacchis to advance to second. So he will be in scoring position. It's back-to-back innings for FDNY with a runner in scoring position. They had Lubeck after a stolen base at second in the 6th inning, but he was thrown out trying to swipe third as well.
And Crowley uncorking the Wolfhounds' second wild pitch of the afternoon as Mitch Hillert, who started the first 2 games for the Wolfhounds, starts to loosen up in the bullpen. He's been penciled in to get the final 6 outs as opposed to the first 6.
Different role for Hillert in this game, a different role for O'Rourke, who started today. That one gets by Lucy for a second, but not enough for Giacchis to advance to third. And you got to think after last inning, don't want to take any chances with that third out at third base. You never want that to happen. So he will stay put at second, hoping to get a big hit from Pena and make this a 2-run game. The payoff pitch here from Crowley. Fouled off, and we'll do it again, 3-2.
Good swing by Pena to protect the plate. Fight off one that he didn't like, but would have been called a strike and ended the inning.
Crowley comes set, pauses, and now delivers another 3-2 pitch, and this one's also chopped foul. Pena staying alive at the plate, making it tough for Crowley, who's looking to navigate this inning without any runs. The FDNY scored in the 3rd inning. Wolfhounds got 2 in the 1st, 2 in the 3rd. And that's been our scoring so far. Hasn't been a run scored since the bottom of the 3rd inning. We do it again, 3-2, taken outside. Pena works a walk. Good at bat to keep this inning going. Joe Ginobili, the designated hitter, will now step up to the plate. He's 0 for 2.
And Ginobili comes up representing the tying run in a 3-run game. That was definitely an out that Crowley wanted. Had to work really hard against Pena, who wound up winning the battle.
Crowley's got 8-9-1. If it would get there, obviously, for FDNY. He's dealing with the 8-hitter now, Ginobili, who takes a strike. definitely wants to avoid getting any sort of tying runs in scoring position or even on base. And Ginobili chases up the high fastball. Seen a number of the FDNY hitters fail to lay off that pitch, and it's quickly 0-2.
Yeah, the high cheese really has been working not only for Crowley, but the three guys who preceded him to the mound, Coleman Goodwin, Maher, and O'Rourke.
Here's the 0-2 pitch with 2 runners on. 4-1 score. It's up and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Crowley looking to get out of it.
Sam, it's also worth noting the wind is picked up, blowing out toward right field in that short porch. Mentioned it's a pretty easy poke for lefties when the wind blows like this, but even a right-hander, if you get a good piece of the bat, it can fly on out of here.
The Irish and American flags flying in right field. A check swing, no swing. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
As Hillert continues to get loose in the Wolfhounds bullpen up the right line, right next to the 312 marker.
A leadoff single for Giakis, 2 strikeouts, and then a walk for Pena. Now Ginobili faces a 2-2 pitch, fouls it off. Back behind home plate. We'll do it again. They're making Crowley work up there. Hopes to get out of this inning unscathed.
Ginobili just got a piece right off the end of the bat. Kevin Lucy a little bit frustrated that he couldn't handle the foul tip.
2 balls, 2 strikes. This one's lined into left field, falling fast and falling for a hit. 1 run will come in to score. It's a long single there for Ginobili, and the lead is cut down to 4-2 for the FDNY.
Well, the good news for the Wolfhounds is they were able to keep Pena at second base as the strong throw came in from McAdams toward third. But now the bad news is that the tying runs are indeed on base.
And this will be a huge at-bat here as the 9-hitter Esteban Soler is up. Brian Lubeck looms on deck, who homered earlier in this one, was that only run for a while, but a big RBI from Joe Ginobili to make it now 4-2. Crowley throws the ball 1-0. Pena off a second and Ginobili off a first. 2 outs, bottom 7. There's a strike, 1-1. Soler struck out twice today. He's 0 for 2. Some tension in the late innings here at Clover Stadium. Fouled straight back, and Crowley once again ahead of the count. Has not been able to put away Pena or Ginobili when leading in the count. Looking to do that to Soler here. Big pitch coming up. First and second, 2 outs. 1 ball, 2 strikes. FDNY trailing by 2. Crowley delivers upstairs. 2-2.
And you wonder if Soler gets on, will Vin Malzahn, Wolfhounds manager, go to Mitch Hillard?
He's increased the intensity of warming up over there in the pen. Gotta think he'll be ready if necessary. But Crowley's gonna look to bear down and get Soler. The 2-2. Called, strike 3. A huge strikeout for Crowley. He strands 2 runners. And the Wolfhounds protect their lead, 4-2. That'll do it for the 7th inning. We head to the top of the 8th. Wolfhounds in front. Thanks for joining us. Welcome back to Irish Wolfhounds Baseball, presented by the Irish American Baseball Society. Celebrate Irish baseball. Visit irishbaseball.org for more. I got you through the middle innings, and now to take you home for the remaining 2 innings, it's Mark Renee.
Walking on a tightrope here with the Wolfhounds as they've got a 4-2 lead, 4 runs on 9 hits, 1 error, and 8 men left. FDNY Bravest, 2 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors, and 4 left. 7, 8, and 9 for the good guys. J.P. Dolan, Kevin Lucy, and Kyle Singer against Emerson Murillo. Lefty hitting DH Dolan takes a breaking ball for 1-0. He reached on an error, walked, and popped out, so he's officially 0 for 2. Player coach pressed into emergency duty earlier today when Brendan Eaton, who was scheduled to play in center field, had to abandon his trek from New Hampshire because of ridiculously heavy traffic. That happens around here on a Saturday. Punch the other way, foul. That'll fall near the tarpaulin here at Clover Stadium, and the count on Dolan is 1-1.
Dolan's done a nice job in replacement of Eaton. He's been on base a couple of times.
Here's the 1-1 from Murillo. Right past him, a slow roller. Going to be a tough play for the shortstop Lubeck, and he can't make it cleanly, so it'll be an infield single for Dolan. He's on base for the 3rd time today.
Sounded like a broken bat there. Little number right up the middle. Tough play for Lubeck, who's had a great day over at short, but not really much you can do there. I'm sure that'll be ruled a base hit.
You can take that home and save it for some firewood for the coming winter here in the New York City area. Kevin Lucy singled his last time up. He's also lined out and bounced into a double play, so he's 1 for 3 today. 1 for 6 as a Wolfhound. Throw to first. Back standing is Dolan.
Don't say coming winter yet. It's too early for that. We're only in August.
Wait.
Don't remind me.
So you can have
Don't
college
remind
football,
me.
but you don't want winter? Come on.
That's fair. I guess I can't have it all, right? We got a couple months of college football in the fall.
I get
It's
it.
a fall sport.
No, I
It's
get
a
That's
fall
why
and
I
winter.
said coming winter. But you'll notice the nights will get a little bit chillier. Not this coming week, but usually it's the weekend after Labor Day.
It's already getting darker earlier. I noticed that already.
Well, yeah, that happens all the time, but
It's starting to
chilly
creep up.
temperatures, as that's a called strike to Lucy, and 1-1 now the count. Wolfhound scored 2 runs in the first inning on a double by Brian McAuliffe. They had back-to-back sac flies in the 3rd from Dave Gallagher and Tommy Dunleavy to make it 4-0. Bravest got a solo homer in the bottom of the 3rd from Brian Lubeck. And an RBI single moments ago, bottom of the 7th, from Joe Ginobili to make it 4-2, as that is in for a strike. And Lucy behind now, 1-2. Pena in right field is on the warning track. You don't see too many guys who play that deep at this ballpark, as Lucy swings and misses for strike 3. That is just the 2nd strikeout recorded by Bravest pitching this afternoon.
Yeah, Pena out there. He's got his feet on the warning. That's crazy. Very deep out there in right field.
Well, that short porch 312 feet away, so he's at about 309. Now he's coming in, moving over toward center a little bit as Kyle Singer comes up. He's had a couple of singles and a ground out. Lifts this one into left center field. Soler giving chase. He calls off O'Hanlon and makes the catch for out number 2, as Dolan had gone halfway to second but retreats to first.
Singer's looked very good in his Wolfhounds debut. A couple of singles in this one. Put a good piece on that one out to left field.
Back to the top of the order for Pat Dillon. He's been hit by a pitch and scored. Officially 0 for 3 with a pop out, a fly out, and a fielder's choice. He's also stolen a base. He's been productive in all 3 games. There's a shot past the diving third baseman Giakis and into left field for a 2-out single. So Dillon's got his first hit of this game and his 4th as a Wolfhound. Dolan stops at second. And it brings up Joe Cosgrove, who's had a productive day, 1 for 4. Single, stolen base, run scored back in the third, reached on a fielder's choice in the fourth.
This would definitely be big for the Wolfhounds. After giving up a run there, seeing your lead shrink to 4-2 would be nice to get some more insurance, make it a little bit easier for Mitch Hillert, who's going to be coming into the game in the bottom of the 8th.
Breaking ball just missed, and Cosgrove is ahead 1-0.
Cosgrove singled, stole a base, came around to score. Had a busy third inning.
2 outs and 2 on in a 4-2 game. Wolfhounds leading as they bat in the 8th. That's punched foul outside of first. Not sure it has enough hang time, and it doesn't as it bounces on the warning track and then into the Wolfhounds dugout on the first base side. Resnick and Kistler both gave chase, but neither had any shot.
Great hustle from Kistler there. Out of the crouch to make an effort out of that play. That could have been way closer. Made a good effort there.
Dolan's at second. Dillon is at first. And the 1-1 from Murillo to Cosgrove. Breaking ball too high. So 2-1 on Joe Cosgrove, the Floridian. Played his college ball at Rollins. Was very excited when I told him Mad Dog Russo went to Rollins College.
I didn't know that either. There you go.
I know you do some work at Sirius XM
Yes.
for some of the folks on the Mad Dog channel. That's fouled off. That'll go into the suite level. First base side of home plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on as we play the top of the 8th in a 2-run game. It's 4-2 Wolfhounds trying to go to 3-0 after they beat the NYPD here at Clover Stadium in mid-June, 9-1. Shut out the court officer Blue Sox last month on Staten Island, 9-0. This one a lot tighter than those 2 games were. And Murillo's 2-2. Punched foul. Not a lot of hang time on this one. Murillo in foul ground makes the play. And that retires the side. No runs on 2 hits. No errors and 2 left. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Wolfhounds lead the Bravest 4-2 here in suburban New York City. Get a look at left-hander Mitch Hillert, who started each of the first 2 Wolfhounds games, went 3 scoreless innings against the court officer Blue Sox. Gave up just 1 hit. No walks, no strikeouts. Beg your pardon, he walked 2 and struck out 5 against the Blue Sox. NYPD back in June here at Clover Stadium, 2 innings As the first pitch is popped up, and the shortstop, Pat Dillon, makes the play to retire Lubeck, who had gone 2 for 3 with a solo homer and a single.
Mitch Hillard picking up right where he left off. In his last game against those Blue Sox, was dominant. Played at Concordia College in New York. He also pitched professionally over in Europe.
And Quinn, the righty, hitting second baseman, 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts as he takes a letter high strike. Trying to avoid the golden sombrero here. Yeah, Hillard now has pitched 5 1/3 innings, no runs on 2 hits, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. And that's a ball, 1-1. Tommy Resnick to follow. That catches the inside corner. It's a ball and 2 strikes now on Quinn.
I was curious to see how Hillard would do in this different role. Started the first 2 games. So far, looking solid, throwing strikes.
1-2. On the ground toward short. Nice backhand stop. Dillon sets, fires. Little short, but off the bag for the play. McAuliffe, who applies the tag on Quinn for out number 2.
A really good play all around there. Dillon did a great job waiting for that hop, waiting for the right hop, and although he was deep in the hole, you just got to get it there on that throw. He had a little bit of time with Quinn running down the line and how hard that ball was hit, and a great job over there at first by McAuliffe coming off the bag and able to apply the tag. Overall, really solid play from the Wolfhounds.
Tommy Resnick comes up. He's 1 for 3, single and 2 strikeouts, and he waves at a good breaking ball from Hillard. Mitch with a chance to make it a 1-2-3 inning for the first time since the first inning, and he will. Clean play by McAuliffe. Tough hop, and he stayed with it. Taking it to the bag all by himself, and indeed, FDNY goes down 1-2-3. We go to the 9th. It's the Wolfhounds 4, the Bravest 2, here at Clover Stadium. To the 9th inning we go. Mark Renee and Sam Davis. Tim Panetta comes on to pitch for the FDNY Bravest. Emerson Murillo went 2 innings. No runs allowed on 3 hits. No walks and 1 strikeout. And Panetta comes on. He'll face the 3, 4, and 5 Irish Wolfhounds batters in Gallagher, Dunleavy, and McAuliffe. With the good guys leading 4-2. Trying to make it 3-0. In the showcase games, Gallagher, Triple, run scored in the first, sacrifice fly in the third, double in the fifth, ground out in the seventh. So he is officially 2 for 3.
Leading off for the Irish Wolfhounds, the third baseman.
He's been busy today, made a couple of nice plays over at the hot corner as well. It's been a really solid defensive effort, really from both sides today.
Righty versus righty matchup here in the sunshine. And a fastball in for a strike from Pineda. That had some hair on it.
I was going to say that. Pineda bringing a little bit of heat here, closing the game for the Bravest.
Spice. Oh, what a fastball high.
You can hear that glove pop from up here. Definitely some heat from Pineda.
Wind blowing across from left to right. Still haven't seen a Wolfhounds home run. 26 innings in. As Gallagher takes for 2-1.
Today we saw a couple of long foul balls that looked like they could have been close, but turns out they weren't. Luback with the only homer that we've seen so far today.
Down and away, another fastball from Pineda. And Gallagher has played himself a pretty good third base, too. Ahead 3-1. Up high, ball 4. Gallagher draws a leadoff walk. Well, you can say this, Sam. The Wolfhounds have certainly had their opportunities today. They've left 10 on base. The only inning that they had nobody left on was back in the second. After J.P. Dolan reached on an error, he got wiped out on a double play. Tommy Dunleavy, hit by a pitch, came around to score in the first, had a sac fly in the third, has since popped out and flied out. So he is officially 0 for 2.
Wolfhounds have had a lot of chances to add on to their lead. They haven't been able to, like you mentioned. It's kept this game close and not necessarily comfortable, but with a guy like Hillert, who has been very good on the mound so far today, but also in the previous 2 games he's pitched, definitely feel comfortable about those chances with him on the mound.
Dunleavy was 2 for 4 against the Blue Sox. With a single, a double, a run scored, and 2 ribbies. 0-1, fisted foul third base side. That will reach the seats over near the party deck. So it's 0-2 on the lefty hitting center fielder. Dunleavy played right in the game on Staten Island last month. Runner goes on the 0-2. It's in the dirt. Throw is going to be way late. And a stolen base for Gallagher.
Gallagher picked the perfect pitch to run on there. A ball in the dirt. Would have been a basically impossible play for Kistler to block that and then come up and throw Gallagher out as he slides in safely to second.
Wolfhounds have 3 stolen bases. FDNY squad has 2. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. And another one in the dirt. Good stop by Kistler, and he applies the tag to complete the strikeout for out number 1. So Dunleavy down on strikes. And it brings up Brian McAuliffe, who has gone 3 for 4 today. Couple of doubles and a single with an RBI and a ground out mixed in. Dunleavy, arguably the offensive player of the game, as he takes down low for a ball.
McAuliffe made a really nice defensive play over at first as well to end the last half inning. A ball that was coming right at him, took a tough hop, but he stayed with it, made the play.
1-0 is in for a strike. 1-1 as Gallagher leads from second base. See him kept fairly close by the shortstop Lubeck, who's right behind him. 4-4. There they are. 1-1 pitch on the ground towards second. Quinn has it, steadies, throws in time for out number 2 as Gallagher on the play moves up to third. So it was a productive out for McAuliffe.
McAuliffe's been really impressive today. Outside of those 3 hits, even there, hit the ball really hard, just in the wrong place as Quinn was able to range over and make the nice play. Certainly done a lot and breaking open that scoring. Without his double in the first inning, this game would be tied right now.
Sean McAdams 0 for 4. Fists that one foul right side to the concourse near the clubhouses. 0-1 as Gallagher leads from third. Big insurance run if McAdams can come through. He did go 3 for 7 the first 2 Wolfhounds games. 2 for 5 with a couple of runs scored against the Blue Sox. An RBI single against the NYPD. Swings and misses over the top of a good breaking ball. And Pineda ahead 0-2 with 2 outs.
Yeah, he's 0 for 4 today, despite the success in the last 2 games. But he could turn that all around right here. Got to work from behind in the count, though.
Pineda's 0-2. Laid off a pitch upstairs. 1-2 on McAdams. If he can continue the inning, J.P. Dolan would be next. McAdams fights it off, fouls it back to the screen. Good job of hitting there, protecting the plate.
Mark, you talked about it, but I wanted to highlight it. It's a big run here, 90 feet away at third base. Just to add that comfortability of a 3-run lead. Could turn out to be crucial in this one.
Pineda takes a look at Gallagher off third. 1-2 pitch. McAdams lays off. It's in the dirt, and a good block by Kistler. Kept it close as it rolled up the first base line a spell. Some of the New York boulders gathering on the concourse. Up the right side beyond the dugout. Eyeball this one. They get set for their game tonight. A big one against the Tri-City Valley Cats. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. On the ground, it kicked off the mound. Lubeck will have a tough play, and he's able to make it to retire McAdams and the Wolfhounds here in the 9th. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left. Wolfhounds have left 11 on base, and we go to the bottom of the 9th. Last licks for the Bravest, who trail 4-2. Mark and Sam with you here on IrishBaseball.org as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Mitch Hillert will try to get the final 3 outs and save it for Norman Coleman Goodwin. In relief of Ryan O'Rourke, who started the game and went 2 scoreless innings with 4 strikeouts. But he will have to get through the middle of the order here. Giacchis, O'Hanlon, and Kistler And Giacchis swings and misses, and a good changeup from Hillard. It's 0-1. Giacchis reached on an error in the second, grounded into an around-the-horn double play in the fourth. Singleton scored in the seventh, and he takes a rip and then comes up empty on this one, too. A fastball up in the zone from Hillard, who's ahead 0-2. Mitch working quickly, misses with a waste pitch outside. Couldn't get Giacchis to chase. 1-2. Punched foul. That'll go to the roof, first base side.
Forget the pitch clock. Mitch Hillard is working even quicker than one. Getting the ball and throwing.
You would think he was double parked in Midtown Manhattan. Here's the 1-2. Breaking ball is skied in the air, left field. Looks like McAdams has a bead on it. And Sean reaches up last second to make the catch. He might have lost that one in the glare, but he's able to make the catch for out number one.
Hillard with a little hesitation in the windup there, trying to throw off the timing of Giacchis, and it worked.
Throwing a little Nestor Cortez at him.
Giacchis was going to be your biggest threat, obviously. Biggest power threat in the lineup for the FDNY. A big first out there for Hillard.
Here's Mike O'Hanlon, one of the co-captains. He's gone 0 for 3. And he takes a breaking ball strike.
O'Hanlon struck out a couple times today, 0 for 3.
Swing and a miss, 0-2. Lefty versus lefty, breaking ball low and away.
When somebody works this quick, it can really disrupt the timing of the hitter. It looks like that's what he's doing to O'Hanlon. And then immediately O'Hanlon calls time to give him a second.
Well, he asked for it fairly late as Hillard had started his motion, but the home plate up, granting O'Hanlon the TO. 1-2 pitch up high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's a 2-run lead for the Wolfhounds as we play the bottom of the ninth. Nobody on and 1 out. 2-2 pitch. Lifted into shallow right. And Singer is there for a basket catch. He nearly overran it. But Kyle Singer able to make the grab. And now the Bravest are down to their final out. Josh Kistler has gone 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts and a pop-up. He's the last hope for the FDNY. As Hillard comes home with a fastball up and away. Now, I don't know about you, but in my scorebook, I write P for pop-up, L for line drive.
I do the same.
And O'Hanlon just hit a PL. Because that was right in between pop-up and line drive.
I ended up writing a P. I said P4. Could have gone either way, though.
Kistler might have gotten a piece, but only barely. Ball and a strike. 2 outs here in the ninth. Pitch from Hillard. Breaking ball upstairs. 2-1. If Kistler gets on, Justin Pena due up. He would represent the tying run. 2-1. In the air to left, McAdams coming toward the line, coming hard into foul ground, makes the catch, and the ball game is over. The Wolfhounds win again as they hold off the FDNY Bravest 4-2 on this Saturday afternoon here in suburban New York City.
Great way to end it there, and that's a highlight of the day, especially the defense all day long for the Wolfhounds really stepped up. The pitching stepped up when it mattered most. Another strong outing on the mound from start to finish with O'Rourke and then Hillard finishing it off and everybody in between. And the offense did enough. They obviously, we talked about it, they stranded some runners on base but got some runs early and they were able to keep that lead all the way to the end, and another win for the Wolfhounds.
And how about Mitch Hillard? 6 up, 6 down. He notches the save. Final line for him. No runs, no hits, no walks, and no strikeouts. Time of the game today was 2 hours and 37 minutes. Again, the final score, Wolfhounds 4, Bravest 2. The Irish Wolfhounds with 4 runs on 11 hits, 1 error, and 11 left on base. The Bravest had 2 runs on 5 hits, committed 2 errors, and left 4 on base. Norman Coleman Goodwin gets the win. The losing pitcher was Kevin Watson. He gave up the first and only 4 runs scored by the Wolfhounds, who got 2 in the first, 2 in the third. FDNY with a solo homer, the only home run of the game in the bottom of the third from Brian Lubeck. They closed within 4-2 with a tally in the 7th inning. But, Sam, that's how this one ends. 4-2. Wolfhounds go to 3-0.
Another great win for the Wolfhounds. Different than the other 2 games. We talked about all the offense, scoring all those runs. But we got a close game here. We had that in Game 1 at Clover Stadium as well until the Wolfhounds blew it open late. They weren't able to blow it open here today, but what they did do very well is down the stretch, big-time moments, the pitching stepped up, the defense stepped up. They were able to carry the load for the Irish Wolfhounds and deliver this 3rd win, 4-2.
And so that'll do it from Clover Stadium for our entire crew. And for my broadcast partner, Sam Davis, I'm Mark Renee. Thanks a million for joining us. You've been watching the Irish Wolfhounds, presented by the Irish American Baseball Society. Celebrate Irish baseball. Visit irishbaseball.org for more information. Special thanks to Wolfhounds General Manager John Fitzgerald and Assistant GM Pat Smith, and especially thank all of you for joining us from Clover Stadium in suburban New York City, where again your final score is the Irish Wolfhounds 4, the FDNY's Bravest 2, as we say goodbye on this Saturday. We'll catch you next time. Stay well.